you used to have years ago. Didn't you have Michael Steele? People got to remember, this is how, when I say the Republican Party is controlled opposition and it's a new day for the grassroots, please always remember that Michael Steele was the head of the Republican Party. He didn't speak in ghetto like he does now on MSNBC. He was head of the Republican Party. And Tim Miller, yes, that would be Puka Shells or Pearl's Tim Miller. That was his chief spokesman. Tim Miller was the communications director of the Republican National Committee, and Michael Steele was the chairman. So when I say they were the controlled opposition, because those guys are left-wing Democrats and they show it every day on MSNBC, but they didn't really change. That's what they've always been. They just faked it. And this is what clowns the Republican Party are, to kind of put them as the head guys. Did you ever have him on your show back in the old days, Eric? Michael Steele?
Tons of times. I did a show where we would do, it was a political panel before the 5 on Fox Digital. Michael Steele was a regular Thursday guest. The guy was as convincing as could be. And I played a soundbite. I think it was with maybe right before you came on last night on the 4 o'clock show. And he literally had the most African-American dialect I've ever heard, even worse than when Kamala brings it out, or worse than when Hillary used to bring it out, or when Biden says, and chain, it was the word. And it just blows me. Steve, MSNBC is littered with former conservatives. You look at Nicole Wallace, one of their highest rated shows, a former Bush press secretary. They like to pick up formers, especially when they like
but it makes the point that they were never. It's why the Republican Party's a controlled opposition. They haven't really changed. They just got a different venue, and it can all come out now. I'll tell you what. Can we have the Michael Steele thing before we talk about the markets? And I got the MSNBC guy there nailed it. Hey, it's 3 days. We got no one pager, as kind of predicted here in the war room. Let me play. I got to play Michael Steele again. Here's why. So many members of the engine room, heads blown up about Michael Steele. So let's play it.
In the year 2052, 2055, 2060, when the country is majority minority, meaning more black and brown people are going to be controlling the legislatures and the tentacles of power, white folks going to find themselves complaining about how they're being redrawn into these minority districts that they now put in place today. And they're going to be asking for the relief that generations of black folks fought and sought for 60 plus years. So here we find ourselves.
It's pretty obvious they had no plan B. They never thought the Warren Posse and the grassroots and the MAGA movement would say, no, we're going to put our shoulder to the wheel starting in Texas, and we're going to do the pregame. The pregame's like the April draft for the NFL. We're going to do the pregame and do redistricting. And so I say structure, content, process. On the structure side, we're hammering them. Your thoughts about that, Eric?
Yeah, first of all, Michael Steele was, I think it was Georgetown or Harvard, one of the major universities. He was for 10 years, 15 years on TV. He never had this controlling without the G and white folk gonna really, come on, Michael, what is this? You're pandering. All right, as far as redistricting, you know what? Politico had to come clean, and I think the headline, I'm pretty sure it's Political Axios, come clean and say it's a disaster for the Democrats, something they didn't see coming. They didn't see Virginia. They didn't see DeSantis down here in Florida pushing it forward quickly. And so there is a real feel that, Caroline Wren on your show yesterday talking about how we can get to 216. We just got to spend a lot of money. And she, as she pointed out, I had her on also with your blessing, of course. She pointed out, and I asked her, how much is for one seat? I mean, I know every state is different. Everyone has different numbers. And we came to a number, she said it could be upwards of, $30-35 million for a seat. And she said, think about that, though. One seat could make the difference between Hakeem Jeffries or whoever may be the Speaker of the House if we retain the House. So, because I'm not sure Speaker Johnson or Thune should even be around after midterms, but whatever, that's my opinion. So the redistricting thing that the Democrats thought they were so proud of with Hakeem Jeffries saying that the Republicans screwed up. I think they were a little. What is it? What does George Bush say? Mission accomplished. A little, just a smidge too early.
No, Politico had the story. I went back to my notes, and they had a story. I think it was the 27th or 28th, of how Democrats had turned the tables, and they were ascended in this redistricting thing. They were going to win, and lo and